All right, Patriots draft central coverage, day 2 in the books. Patriots made 2 picks, 46, 76. That's where they were slotted. They did not move around the board as we thought that they might. We also thought that they might go offense because they did address the defense at a position of need in round 1 with Christian Gonzalez in the first round. But Taylor Kyles, they went with a defensive end here and a pretty good value pick considering Keon White here was expected or possibly considered to be a first-round pick. He was there at the draft in Kansas City, ended up going home because he didn't get picked. A lot of people have probably seen the video of what looks like a really surly dude who seemingly didn't want to be picked by the Patriots. That's not what happened. I think he's just kind of bummed the way the draft process played out. He had to wait around as long as he did. But a terrific athlete. We're going to hear about him from Taylor Kyles. First, we want to tell you about our sponsor here. Sign up at fanduel.com/Boston if you want to take advantage of this special offer. Bet 5, get 200 in bonus bets. All you need to do is deposit $10 to begin. Let's go back here and tell us what you like about this prospect.
So he fits that mold of just the crazy athletic, really versatile player. Like Keon White's kind of guy, you line him up anywhere on the defensive front. They got a lot of guys who are aging, guys who are reaching the end of their contracts. So he's the kind of guy who in the first year, he's a spot starter where he fills whatever role you need based on, injury, just rotation, game plan, anything like that. He can learn different alignments and he can succeed, whether it's inside, just because he's a really long guy who's very powerful. He's not super bendy, so you don't want him to live outside, but he can drop into coverage, which is something you wouldn't expect from a guy his size. There's a play that I think a lot of people are going to refer to when looking at highlights for him, where he carries a running back on a wheel route, which is something you don't expect from a guy who's damn near 300 pounds. So like you said, that crazy athleticism, he's still raw. And that's kind of the flavor of a lot of the edge defenders in this class. They're really raw prospects who have crazy talent. And then it just turns into, okay, who's going to draft him and who's going to develop him? Patriots obviously have DeMarcus Covington, who's one of the best defensive line coaches and pass rush specialists in the NFL. He's someone who's been getting head coaching consideration. So, he's a significant guy. So you give a coach of his pedigree, a player with all this talent, and it's a move you got to be excited about, especially because this was an underrated area of need. And I even said heading into the day, this was a guy I could see the Patriots possibly going after, one of my favorite guys who was available in round 2.
Yeah, we did talk about it. And again, you mentioned spot starter. Is there any way that he plays his way into regular snaps here? I know the Patriots kind of have, a bit of a developmental process at this position here. But I mean, we've seen some players in their first year, make an impact here. Is he someone who can? And, Christian
I don't think
Barmore
he'll
comes to
need to.
mind, and I know he
Right.
was, he had some injuries, but you've seen a pretty early impact in his Patriots career, also a second round pick here. Is this someone who can make an impact?
I mean, I think he can. I think it's not that he can't, and more that they have so much depth. I don't think in year 1 he'll need to. Like the Patriots even acknowledge that you also have to build for next year. And part of that is the fact that, well, again, like part of it's aging. So you expect players might get banged up. So that's part of the reason you draft a little bit ahead, because that's why I say spot starter. You already got a really deep defensive line, but who knows what's going to happen? That's where these guys play a bigger role. Like last year with Marcus and Jack Jones. You didn't anticipate necessarily that Jalen Mills and John Jones were going to miss time at points, but it really worked out because you had two competent rookies who, weren't liabilities necessarily on the back end. So I think he can contribute pretty early on, especially in base packages. If he were to outplay like Jelani Tavai, possibly like Anthony Jennings on early downs and supplant them. But I just don't think they're going to ask that much of him unless just physically he blows out the competition in camp. In the preseason.
And again, he might, you talk about a, 99% relative athletic score. Again, if that is, if you list him as a D tackle, as a D end, still 93%,
Which is crazy.
which is crazy. So again, a terrific athlete. One small caveat: he's kind of old, as you mentioned. 24, will be 25 soon. So that's a thing. Ended up using his 6 year of eligibility. Why? I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is, but same way you'll ask yourself, okay, how did Christian Gonzalez, many people thought was a top 10 pick, get to 17? And Patriots were comfortable enough trading down from 14, feeling that he might still be there, and he was. How does this player slide, if you do consider this to be a slide, out of the first round and to where the Patriots were picking here in the middle of the second?
Yeah, I think it was just because, like I said, he was a really raw prospect, and I think people
But
may
how are
have
you
just
raw after 6 years?
Well, he was a convert, and he also got hurt, I believe, in 2021. He had a significant injury and missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
So that's it. He's not very experienced, which is another thing. Like, they're kind of breaking a lot of the mold that we expect. Where like the Patriots, yes, they're going to draft older guys, but like Christian Gonzalez was someone who was very young. He's only 20 years old. And then White, he hasn't played as much football at the position as you'd want, which is where you say, okay, second round. Like, it's not Luke Van Ness, where Luke Van Ness is raw, but he has a little more experience, and it's really okay. We just want to give him more pass rush moves. You need a little more work for someone like White, especially because he's one of those guys who moves up and down the line, and he's really scheme diverse. But you put him in a system where you make things simple, you see what he can take on. He assumes more responsibilities as he gets more comfortable in these roles, and then you see what happens throughout his rookie season, and then onward.
Okay, but overall, this is a pick you like. Is there someone else in this spot you might have considered?
Um, was Downs gone at this pick?
No, no,
No, I
no,
was after.
not for a
Yeah,
long time, my
yeah,
friend.
no, Downs was my only guy. And I also said leading up to that, Downs is not a scheme diverse guy, and that's what the Patriots value. Like, that was what we've seen in all their picks. He's a really good athlete, and I thought he would be a great addition to the Patriots, but at the same time,
Yeah.
he was someone who's probably only going to line up in one place for you, and they didn't see that as a high enough
Well,
value in the second round. And I don't necessarily fault him for it.
and let me ask you this, and again, you talk about a couple of the, I'm not going to say flags, but a couple of things why you might have a player like this available. Because again, physically speaking, this is someone who checks every box, and the ability, as you said, to potentially be an every down lineman is something the Patriots don't have a lot of, and that's a great thing. Someone who can get after it, but also, as you said, slide inside. Play early downs and get after the quarterback. But why, again, we're a little bit raw in sixth year. I'm not going to say it's a flag, but third team All ACC. I mean, that's not glowing, right?
ACC's got some pretty good pass rushers.
It
Though. Like,
does,
you
but
think
again,
Clemson, like Miles Murphy's in that division.
yeah. But
It's
again,
not easy.
third team All ACC. It's fine. But
And
it's
also,
not.
it's like a Pro Bowl. Like, you don't get as much credit when you line up in a bunch of different places because it's harder for
Sure.
you to
You
accumulate
don't
stats.
compile
So
the stats. Yeah.
yeah, if you're making the All ACC, if you're making like the All whatever team for your division conference, whatever, you have talent. Like, that's what. If you don't make one of those teams, that's when you're saying, all right, that's a little odd. But everyone's got different situations. I don't, that's not a big deal for me.
All right, so that's the pick at Patriots defense. Defense, of course, will be profiling and breaking down every single pick that the Patriots make here on the Patriots Press Pass YouTube channel. You can also check out CLNS Media for all of Taylor Kyle's written work, and many of these prospects the Patriots are bringing in. Taylor has already scouted in depth, looked at a lot of film, looked at a lot of tape, and has a lot to say on them. We'll take deeper dives as we kind of roll through the draft, but that's it. Pick number 2, Keion White, defensive end. Patriots go defense to start the draft. Once again, want to tell you about our sponsor. Please check out FanDuel. Go to fanduel.com/Boston. Take advantage of that special deal. Bet 5, get 200 in bonus bets once you do. For Taylor Kyles, I'm John Zanis. Thanks for watching.